All universities share general aspects of the academic project. They all engage in teaching, research, and community engagement. But every university in South Africa is meant to have its own version of the academic project. This is so that across the sector, all the demands placed on higher education by students, community, industry, and others can be met. The academic project is the particular way in which a university understands its key purposes within the higher education landscape. Understanding what the purpose of each university is should allow each university to develop its identity, organizational structures, and activities. Everything the university does should be in service of these purposes. I wanted to take a look at how staff and students at Rhodes University understood the purpose of this institution. So I collected a whole lot of views from a whole lot of people. So what did I find? In this video, I share some of the main findings and some quotes from the study participants.
Lack of clarity of academic project.
There isn't any clear articulation of what Rhodes University's academic project is.
While no university can have a complete agreement across all stakeholders about its focus. This finding was a concern because having some shared sense of the academic project allows for alignment between what we value and what we spend time and money on. Some participants argued that a university is a complex organization built on academic freedom, so we should not expect agreement. Strong nexus between teaching and learning, research, and community engagement. Despite the data about the lack of clarity, there was a very strong understanding among most of the participants that teaching, research, and community engagement were all core to the university in an especially integrated way. Every university in South Africa is expected to consider these three pillars of higher education. But in the study data, these activities were seen to take a very particular form at this university. They were not separate activities that students and staff could pick from, but rather they were seen to intersect and strengthen each other.
All three, but integrated. These are not independent pillars, but rather work with one another.
Teaching and research nexus. The nexus between teaching and research was seen to be central to RU's academic project. And this was mainly understood as teaching that enabled students to be able to understand how knowledge is actually made within their disciplines. The high number of staff and students actively doing research at RU was seen to be key to this.
We aspire that it's not a rote learning kind of teaching and learning, that it has got a scholarly angle to it. Our teachers should be scholar teachers, people who are active researchers, because I think that it makes students lifelong learners.
A third of our students are postgraduates, and so the undergraduates mix with postgraduates, and it kind of lifts their game. And the departments have got postgraduates to run practicals and tutorials. I think that's a real strength of creating the scholarly space that we've got, and our job is really to make sure we strengthen it.
It was not only the particularly tight nexus between teaching and research that emerged as being central to RU's academic project, but also how these activities are closely integrated to community engagement in turn. Teaching and community engagement nexus.
I think our academic project is around the preparation of critical citizens, people who are cognizant of the realities of South Africa and the world through community engagement and content choice and so on.
Research and community engagement nexus.
What we support and fund as community engagement intersects with the scholarly project, the research program and the teaching and learning programs as much as we can.
This interconnection was seen to be enhanced by the geographical context and the size of the institution. A small university in an embattled town. Rhodes University is one of the smallest universities in the country and the only traditional, research-intensive university in a poor rural area. While some participants saw this context as constraining, especially because of the problems with the town's infrastructure, many saw it as enabling a relationship between teaching, research, and community engagement that is orientated towards public good and social justice.
You have to embed your teaching and learning and your research in your location.
This idea that the university's identity comes from its strong relationship between research, teaching and learning, and community engagement was echoed in the finding that many understood the university to be a public good, serving all of society and not only those who work and study here.
We strive to be at the heart of equity, redress, transformation, and social justice in Makhanda and the Eastern Cape, generally considered the poorest of South Africa's 9 provinces. Additionally, to be a South African university that engages with the rest of Africa as well as the global South generally.
Amid the discussions about the strengths of this university were concerns about aspects of its ethos. 2 issues came up across much of the data: managerialism and racism. The concern about managerialism was that the university was being constrained by its increased bureaucracy and management that focused on rules rather than on the academic project itself.
I'm spending more time now than many years ago in trying to navigate through all the bureaucracy. There are far more directives and far more top managers.
Structural racism, coupled with racist processes and interactions, was also seen to constrain the university's academic project. Participants indicated that the university continues to take whiteness as its norm, and it is only just starting to engage with how the institutional ethos might better serve its context.
So sometimes the kind of radical, emancipatory, liberatory kind of decolonizing work that has to happen on a deep level is simplified to just a kind of, we're now employing so many so-called Black African people, so many Indian women, so many colored men, you know?
The institutional culture and the nature of academic project have implications for what structures are put in place and what practices are valued in the university. Reflecting upon and discussing the academic project has implications for increased participation by all who work and study in the university. We would love you to engage with the data in the report. Tell us what you think the Rhodes University academic project is, and let us know what you hope it might become.